Once again, we're trying to just come out with good content that is going to be useful for you, your friends, your family, your colleagues, for the entire community, whether you're trying to break into IT, whether you're trying to develop new skills, whether you're trying to mature your skills, whatever it may be, we're trying to make sure that we're creating useful content. In this video here, we're going to be doing something pretty cool. Okay, we're going to be doing some server log analysis and monitoring. We're going to be using some Linux command line tools. You can say terminal tools, CLI tools, whatever makes you feel better. We are going to be using some Linux commands to analyze a server log or server logs. We're going to identify some patterns in those logs. We're going to learn some useful skills and techniques that you can use in the real world, that you can use at work, that you can use as a SOC analyst, as a system administrator, as an engineer. And then we're going to also set up some monitoring. And we're going to use a pretty cool tool called Logwatch to go ahead and monitor some logs. So we're going to be doing a bunch of things here. We're going to set up our own web server. We're going to set up our own mail server, which is going to be pretty cool. We're also going to be setting up some log monitoring. All right, so first things first, if you all have been enjoying our videos, please don't forget to smash that like button. Please, please, please smash, smash, smash. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So first, let's get this screen up. All right, so I am, just for situational awareness, I am logged into my EC2 server that we created in AWS. If you're not familiar with EC2 and AWS, we will be posting a link here so that you can go ahead and set up your virtual machine. Remember, an EC2 server is just a virtual machine, you all. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, we need to go ahead and download some dependencies that we're going to be utilizing. If I can find my mouse. Okay, there it is. Sweet. All right, so there are a few things that we got to download, right? Let's go ahead and kick this off. We're gonna need Git, because, well, let me say it after I type. It's hard to type and talk at the same time. Sendmail HTTPD. So we're gonna need to install Git, right? We're using the Yum Packet Manager. Most of us should be familiar about this by now. We use this in most, if not all, of our videos when we're trying to download packages. We're gonna need Git because we're gonna clone down Logwatch. I'm trying to make sure things are simple and straightforward for you all. So instead of trying to install the binary and configure that, we're going to download Logwatch via a Git repo. We're going to need Postfix. This is going to be the SMTP service that we use. Somebody in the chat, let me see who's aware. Somebody in the chat put down the port numbers that SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, can use to send mail. Put it in the chat. It's a Security Plus thing. Let me see it, right? And if someone gets it wrong, please help them in the comment section, y'all. All right, let's get it. Now, tmuts, this is something we're going to use to open up multiple, what do I want to call it? Multiple terminals, I guess, to split our screen. I don't know the right words right now, but you'll see. This is going to come in handy. You don't have to use it unless you want to have multiple command prompts open. I want to have one command prompt open like we do right now in multiple sessions within this one command prompt, or multiple screens. It'll make more sense when we get to it. So cronny, this is going to be for cronjobs, because we're going to use this to schedule one of our scripts to run. Sendmail, this is another SMTP service that we'll be using to send mail. HTTPD, this is in a web service that we'll be using, Apache web service. If you all are familiar with web service ports, someone in the comment section, I want you to drop the port number for web services. What port do web service applications use? There are 2 ports. Same thing with SMTP. There are at least two ports for SMTP that could be used to send mail. So 2 questions for you all: port number for SMTP and port numbers for web applications. Drop that in the comment section, y'all. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and kick that off. Oh, I forgot to explain the -y. It's just to automatically tell the Yum Package Manager that yes, we do want to install these packages. So while that's downloading, I'm gonna go and get this repo, or this link. Here we go. All right, so, and I'm gonna post all of this in the description of the video. So I'm going to clear my screen. All right, to clear your screen, you can either type clear or you can just hit Control L. Right, if I do Control L, it clears my screen. Now, what I'm going to download is this. This is the link right here with some Apache logs that we're going to analyze. Before we get into any automation, let's get familiar with how to analyze some logs. Let's become familiar with a few command line tools that we can use to analyze logs, extract different information from the logs. So we're more effective at our jobs. Okay, so in order to download this, we're going to use curl. Right? If you're not familiar with curl, it's a pretty handy tool that we're using to access different web applications or websites, web pages. And what we're going to do is use it to download these Apache logs. Okay, so just hit enter. That should kick off pretty quick. I'm going to clear my screen. I'm going to type ls to list out the contents of my current directory. You can see I have Apache logs right here. If I try to open it up, let's do just cat Apache logs. It's a bunch of stuff in here. It is a lot of stuff in here. So if we want to effectively go through these logs, and this is something any SOC analyst, any system administrator, maybe information security analyst, vulnerability analyst, risk analyst, this is what anybody would do to effectively go through the logs. They would go take their time, right? Let's use the less command. And it's not going to just spit out everything as the cat command does. If we use less, hit enter, we can take our time to scroll through these logs to become familiar with the data inside of it, right? We can see that these are Apache logs, right? So they're pretty structured. Usually they're going to start off with the IP address, then the date time, the HTTP method, the resource that's trying to be that you're trying to access, right? This HTTP version. You have the response code, 200 means successful. Right, the bytes, they're usually structured, right? Now, do I want to go through every single one of these events? Because this would be an event, this would be an event. Remember, HTTP or Apache logs, they usually start with the IP address. So this would be another event. This would be another event. If I wanted to extract all of the IP addresses within this log file, it's a lot. Right? But if I wanted to see all the IP addresses, am I just going to just scroll down and just start counting and copying and pasting? Oh, here's an IP. Let me copy this and paste it into another editor. Let me copy and paste this into another editor. Let me copy and paste this into another editor. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to use some Linux command line tools to help us automate that process. So let's hit Control C. Oh no, Q. Type Q. Q is going to quit out of that less, right? When we use the less command right here, just type Q to quit out of that. Now what we're going to do, I want to see all the IPs in there. Actually, before I see all the IPs, let's just see how many lines are in that log file. To do that, we can use the WC command, right? The word count command, right? We do WC-L. This is going to give us the line number of this log file. How many lines are in there? There's 10,000, right? 10,000 lines in there. So if you try to go through each event one at a time to find the IPs, that is going to take you a very long time. That is a awful manual process that may make you hate your job. All right, if you wanted to see how many words are in there, you could do WC-W, right? That's how many words are in this file, right? So it's a pretty lengthy file, right? WC is a pretty cool command. It just gives you a high level overview of the logs or the file that you're dealing with. Now let's just get the IPs. I want to get the IPs out of this file, right? So there are a bunch of commands you can use. You can use the cut command. You can use awk. Let's use awk, right? Because cut is pretty simple. Cut is pretty straightforward. Let's use the awk command. Let's use awk. Let me look at that file again. Let me do a head Apache logs. Okay, so we can see that this is the first, right? This is the first field in these logs. Okay, so awk what we'll be able to do with awk, you can grep out or you can extract out contents based off of where it is in the log file. And since this log file is pretty straightforward, it's delimited by spaces for the most part, right? There's a space in between each field, a space in between each field. So what we'll do is tell the awk command to print out the first field. All right, so let's go back, and just to make sure we're tracking, I'm gonna say it one more time. I want to make sure everybody's tracking. The awk command, just like the cut command, allows us to parse through files. We can extract certain data, certain fields from a file. Awk command, well, this file that we're looking at is pretty structured, which is it makes life easier. It looks as if everything is delimited by a space. So it's going to be pretty simple to extract just the IPs with the awk command. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do awk. Oh, and if you didn't know, the head command just shows us the first few lines of the file. I think it's the first 10. So let's do awk. We just want the first. We want the first line or the first field of that file. So if we do that, you see we get all these IP addresses. Cool. But this is okay. You can see we're getting duplicates though, right? I want only unique values. I want to see the unique values and I want to know how many of them are populating. For instance, how many of these 63.140.98.80s are there? We can see it right here, but I don't want to have to count it, right? Just like this. This is a lot to count. I want to see how many times they pop up, and I only want to see the unique values. I don't want to see duplicate events. So what we'll do is chain a few commands together. So I'm going to hit the up arrow, and it's going to show me the last command I just ran. And then I'm going to do shift. I'm going to hold the shift key and hit the / key at the same time. This is going to give me the pipe. Shift / is going to give me this pipe. And I want to pipe the results of this awk command, which was all those IPs, into the sort command, right? So sort is going to sort these in some type of order, all right? But we're not done. I just wanted to show you it's going to sort these in order. All right, let me clear my screen. I'm going to hit the up command one more time, and I'm going to pipe those results into a unique count, all right? So now if I do this, we get a count, right? Look, this IP address pops up 26 times. This IP address pops up 9 times. This IP address pops up 10 times, okay? I'm not done. I'm gonna hit the up arrow one more time. And this time I want them to sort this by the number. Okay, I want to sort by the number of events. So let's do this. If I do that, that's gonna sort by the highest number first, highest number of IP addresses first, the highest count of IP addresses first. And I'll put that into the head command and boom. So look, it's gonna show me the top 10. This IP address pops up 482 times, this 364 times, this 357, this 273, this 113, this 102, this 99, this 84, this 83, this 82. If you want to see all of them, just remove the head. Remove that and you can see all of them. Now, what did we just do? We just identified, I'm going to go back and include the head command. We just identified the top IP addresses in those logs. These are the top IP addresses in those logs. I've seen this on a lot of interviews, right? We've given this example or this task to people on interviews, and we ask them, hey, you have about 30 minutes, or maybe even during the interview, you have about 5 minutes to show us how you would identify the top IPs in this log, okay? And they would do it in a sandbox environment. If you're not familiar with the awk command, or cut command, you can use cut too. That task may take you a longer time, right? Because you would maybe have to manually try to count, which is almost impossible within that time frame. So let me look back at that file one more time. And let's extract one more thing before we move on. Let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's see what 7 gives us. If we awk 7. Okay, cool. This looks like the pages that are being accessed. Let's see. Where'd it go? Yeah. So 1. Think these space. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. I think I'm getting my count wrong, but this is printing out this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know what I'm counting, but this is obviously, if I do 7 here, let's do 6. What does 6 give us? Okay, yeah. Yep. Perfect. So, whoops. This is giving us this field. This is the resource. These are the pages that are being accessed. So when we awk 7, it's printing out the pages that are being accessed. So let's do the same thing. Let's find the most. I want you all to pause the video and try to find the most accessed pages. It's going to be very similar to what we did above with the top IPs. I want you to find the most access pages. Pause the video, and I'm going to do it now, but pause the video and try to find that before you see the answer on the screen. Yeah, it was 7, not 6. Okay, so apache log sort. We're going to get a unique count. We're going to sort by the number and get the top access pages. All right, so these are the most accessed pages in that log file. Pretty cool. All right, pretty cool to learn how to automate these things. At the end of the video, we're going to show you some bullet points that you can add to your resume, right, to effectively market these skills that you're learning. But you got to remember, you got to keep practicing these things. Find different log files on the internet, different Apache log files to practice this awk command against. Don't just use what you're learning in this video. We don't want to one and done anything. We want to keep practicing. All right, so let's make this more actionable. Okay, let's make this more real world related. All right, that's very real world. Okay, but we're gonna create our own web server logs and monitor those with Logwatch. Now, before we do that, we need to go and set up Postfix, because what we're gonna do is we're going to download an HTTP. We're going to set up a web server. And we want to monitor the logs of that web server. We want to monitor the logs of that web server to see when anyone is using the curl command to access the web server. Why the curl command? Because that's not normal for most people to use to access the web server. That's more of a back-end thing. When most people are accessing a web application, they're going to use their web browser. So as security analysts, we want to know, we want to be alerted, we want to be informed, we want to be notified when someone is using the curl command to access our web application. So anytime this curl command is identified in our logs, we want to get an email. Okay, we want to get an email. So that's what we're going to create. That's what we're going to set up and automate. We're going to set up Postfix and sendmail in a web application to alert us anytime someone is using the curl command, anytime the curl command is identified in our log. So let's make sense of all of that. Let's go ahead and set up Postfix. We already installed it. So now we just need to go into the configuration files All right, we're going to go into the Postfix configuration files to set up a few things. So you can use Nano, you can use the Vim VI editor, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go into this file and scroll down a bit. I will add my settings right here. All right, to edit this file using VI, you need to select the I character, the I key on your keyboard, so you can go into insert mode. And I need to grab my hostname 1 second. Let me grab it from my EC2 console. The host, if I run the hostname command, it's going to be different from what I actually need. So I'm going to go into the console and grab this. This is what I need. Okay, and actually, no, I need the public DNS actually. There we go. And to do this, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna set my host name equals, I'm using my public DNS. If you haven't, hopefully we are all using an EC2 instance. This information is readily available for you. If you go to the details of your instance and just copy the public DNS, I'm going to add the domain, which is just this right here. It's compute-1.amazon aws.com, Amazon aws.com. Okay. And then my origin, this is going to be the same as my public DNS. Now we're going to set the relay host. This information right here is, I'll show you, it's a us-east-1 amazon.com. 587. I'll show you. Let's finish up these configs first, and then I'll show you where to grab that. I already have this set up on my AWS console. You all probably need to set it up as well. So I'll show you in a minute. What we also need to do is enable some authentication. Equals yes. SMTP SASL _auth_enable equals yes. SMTP password maps. We're going to do a password map for this. All of these things, I haven't done it yet. We're going to do it together. The only thing that I did already was set up the email SMTP service on my AWS console. And then we're going to disable anonymous security options equals no anonymous. Okay. We're going to set it up to use TLS. Make sure I don't have anything misspelled here. email-smtp.us-1.amazon.com. That's using 587. So you see one of the port numbers right here for SMTP is 587. Comment section, what's the other one? What's the other port for SMTP? All right, SMTP SASL, that's SMTP SASL, SMTP SASL. Just make sure everything's spelled correctly. Auth_enable, cool. Password maps with an S, cool. Hash, Etsy, Postfix, SASL password. We're gonna set that up. And then we're disabling anonymous, SMTP SASL, security _options, spelled correctly. All right, then we're gonna use TSL. All right. So a few more things we gotta add here, so that it uses the correct email to send. As the sender, we need to set this up. Sender canonical maps, Etsy Postfix sender canonical. Okay. I'm gonna scroll down a bit to look for the INET protocols. I want to set it to right here. I want to set this to IPv4 instead of any, because I don't want it to try to use IPv6. And that is it. All right. I think so. Hopefully, we'll find out. Just scrolling back up to make sure things are spelled correctly one more time. It looks good. All right, so now we got to go set up this, where is it at? The password. This, and we have to set up this. All right, they're going to be in these files respectively. This for the password, this for the sender's email address. So I'm going to exit this. You can hit escape, shift:\WQ. All right, next we're going to sudo, I'm just going to use nano just in case some of you are using nano to set up the password. You have to give it the same password file that you provided in the configs. And the way this is going to work, you will have to set it up. I'm going to give you an example. I will not show you my password. AWS.com 587. You need your SMTP username and the SMTP password. Right, that is how this needs to be done. SMTP username and the SMTP password, just like that. So give me 1 second. I'm going to hide my screen from you. And do this, and then do that, and then do that. All right, sweet. And come back to the screen. There we go. So remember, it needs to look like this. I'll show you how to get the username and password. Right, it needs to look something like this. Okay. You have to have this here. Then you have your username, then you have your password. All right, next, after we do that, we need to create a hash for that. Well, first of all, let's change the permissions on that real quick to 600. Then we'll use postmap to create a hash. Boom. All right, and then one more thing, we got to go ahead and edit the sender so that it knows what email address to use as the sender, and it doesn't try to use our local host name. So for this, I need to go back into my console and grab this. There we go. Give me 1 second. I'm almost back. I need to grab that. Boom. All right. So for this, we're essentially mapping what AWS is going to use as the sender's email address. Okay. Because AWS is what's going to send the email alerts for us. All right, AWS is going to send the email alerts for us. That previous side we created were the credentials that our system is going to use to send the email address. Over here, we're telling AWS, hey, I don't want you to send the email address as this with this account. I want you to send the email address with this, right? Obviously, this isn't going to work for you because this is my email address. It's a test email that I created for the purposes of this project. All right, but this sender canonical, if I'm pronouncing it right, is going to tell AWS, specifically the SES service in AWS, hey, I want you to send the email address, send the email using this account. Okay. I don't want the sender to be the local host name. If we don't, you're going to get a bunch of errors, and Postfix is going to say, hey, you know what? This is not an approved email address within AWS. You cannot send it, right? This is the email address we want them to send it as. Okay, this is the email address we want them to send it as. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and exit and save. Well, with the Nano to save it, I'm gonna hit Control X, and then I'm gonna hit the letter Y for yes, and then hit enter. And I'm gonna do the same thing I did for the previous file. I'm gonna make sure that only the owner can access this. And then I'm gonna do a post map. Then I wanna see everything in here. Sender canonical, boom. That's the hash map to it. Then this, boom. That's the map to it, okay. They look spelled correctly too. So at this point, this is where I would restart Postfix, but let's make sure that you all are tracking what this AWS SES is using to do these things. Give me 1 second. Let me switch over. Okay, so I am going to switch the screen. So now I'm just going to, so what we just did, recap. Just make sure everybody's tracking. We just set up the Postfix configs. Postfix is what we're going to use to send it's the local SMTP service that we're going to use to send out email alerts, all right? In order for this to successfully work, we had to go into these configuration files. Where is it at? We went into this configuration file, told Postfix what our host name is, what our domain is, what the relay host is, which I'm going to show you. We just pretty much told it what to use to actually send the emails. All right. Postfix is going to use, it is going to do this through AWS. All right. It's going to do this through AWS. So now that we have the local SMTP service set up, we need to go and configure AWS to accept what Postfix is going to send to it. Postfix is going to say, hey, AWS, we have an alert. Send this alert to X, Y, and Z email address for us. AWS is not going to send anything if you don't configure it to. So let's go into AWS and configure that service. Now let me present. Let's present, share screen. Where's the screen at? Oh, there it is. All right. Boom. Okay. And, all right, boom. So right now I'm on my EC2 console. Don't worry about that. Let's go ahead and select services up here. And then we're going to go to Amazon Simple Email Service. If you don't see this right here, just type in SES, Amazon Simple Email Service. You can just type in SES up here. This is what this is what Postfix needs to send out the email address or to send out the emails. So from here, it's really simple, y'all. I don't want you to think this is really complicated or any type of rocket science. We're gonna go to identities right here in the configurations, identity. Select identities. You see the identities that I have set up already. These are test email addresses, which I'm gonna nuke, I'm gonna destroy it, I'm gonna delete them after this video. You just go into here to create the identities. I recommend using a Yahoo email address. I recommend using both. Right? I recommend using both. Use a Yahoo email address to receive the mail, and you can use whatever you want to send the mail. However, I do recommend using Yahoo to receive the mail. I do not recommend using Gmail to receive the mail, to be the recipient of the alerts, to be the recipients of the email. I recommend using Yahoo. I did not have any issues using Yahoo. I ran into some issues using Gmail to receive the emails, okay? Now, you create your identities, right? That's all these are, they're identities. You're gonna go into create identities. You're gonna create an email address identity, type in the email address. Once that's typed in, you're gonna ask, you're gonna create the identity, and then Amazon is gonna send you a test email to that identity to confirm and validate. Once you've confirmed and validated it, now you have your identities created. Okay, that is the simple part. These are the identities right here. Okay, the identities. I'm using this one as the sender. I'm using this as the sender. I'm using the second one as the recipient. One more, well, before I show you the other thing, let me go back into the configs to make sense out of what we did before. Give me 1 second. So if we come back over here and this is the email address sender. In our sender file, the sender canonical file, this is the email address that I'm using to send the emails. I'm telling Postfix, do not send it as this email address. Send it using this. This is the identity that we created in AWS. All right. And then there's another file, if I remember. Oh yeah, the relay host. This is also coming from AWS. This relay host coming from AWS. This is coming from AWS. This is just my public DNS name. That's all it is. This is the public DNS name. This is in the AWS settings, which I'll show you in a second. And if I come back to this file, this right here is simply my private DNS. Okay, this is my private DNS. All right, let me just show you these things. All right, so remember, this was my sender email, right? The relay setting, this is it right here. Okay, this is the relay setting right here. This is where I got it from. All right, if I go back to my EC2 settings to show you my public DNS name, I just select on this host that I created. Here's the public DNS name that we're using for my host and my origin. And then this is the private DNS name that I'm telling AWS, I'm telling Postfix not to use as the sender. Use the identity we created as the sender. All right, once we have these things configured and set up, we can test it out. All right, we can test it out. Let me come back over here. Boom. Let me go to Yahoo, go to my email. All right, sweet. Now let's go ahead and test this out. I didn't make any changes there, so nothing to change. We have all of our settings configured. Now we're going to restart Postfix. All right, cool. We didn't get any errors. Now let's try to send a test email. So I'm going to do echo E. Subject echo is just going to echo some type of string somewhere. We're going to echo it to an email address. We use -E so we can use some regex in here as well. So this is going to be the subject test email. Do a /, the letter N, / the letter N. That's going to create a new line. This is a test email from Postfix via AWS SES because we're using Postfix to send the email to AWS, and AWS is going to use SES to send this email out to. We're going to use sendmail to send the email out. So before I go any further, we're saying echo. I want you to echo this, and we're going to take the results of this echo, which is simply all of this. We're going to take the results and pipe it into the sendmail command and send it to my test email. Well, no, we're gonna 741112. Let me make sure I got that right. IU9 741112. I'm going to send it using that Gmail account 0857592 to this account. All right, I'm going to echo these results into this command, which is going to send this using this as the sender to this as the destination. Let me make sure I got my stuff spelled right. IU97412 Kali Linux 0857592. And I'm going to hit enter. And if let's see, let me check the logs to see sudo journal ctl -u postfix dash no page. Let's do since 10 minutes ago. This is going to show us the journal CTL logs from 10 minutes ago. And something went wrong. So we got the from address. That's cool. The to address, name service error, host not found. So maybe there's something. So I'm looking at this error right here, name service error, host not found. I'm going to copy this. And we're going to go back into my file here. Did I type this incorrectly? Let me go back to AWS and grab that really quick. For relay host, got email-smtp.us-east-1. Oh, I see. Amazon, AWS. It's missing the AWS. This is why I really love doing these videos, right? I want you to see the mistakes. I'm not taking out any of the mistakes from these videos. I'm not going to edit out the mistakes. See the mistakes. See how we troubleshoot these things. This is all a part of the skill set that you need to successfully and confidently get into the field. Look at the mistakes. So how did I just find this mistake? I didn't see the email come through through Yahoo. So I said, hey, you know what? Let me look at the logs. How did I just use journal CTL, which is just going through a bunch of different log files for this unit named Postfix. And I'm doing the node page because if I don't do this, it's going to truncate the logs, and I don't like looking at it truncated. And I say, hey, just show me the logs since 10 minutes ago. All right. And when I hit enter, I know this is a lot to look at first sight, but I'm pretty used to this. So I'm really looking for errors or some type of message that doesn't look right. And this said name service error, right? And it's saying, hey, the name service they're trying to use is not found. There was no issues with the from address. It gave well, at least not now. So the from address is correct for now. And the to address is correct for now. It just doesn't like this name server that we provided. So I'm going to go ahead and restart Postfix one more time. And then I'm going to try to send that email one more time. Let me go over to Yahoo, see if it came through. And it came through. Sweet. Before I switch over, let's just look at the logs one more time so you can see what a successful log looks like. So we got here, status sent, 250 okay, it was sent. All right, and if I come over to remove that, present, share screen. I'm getting better at switching, y'all. I'm getting better. You can see the test email right here. This is the test email from Postfix via AWS SES. Sweet. All right. The test worked. Okay. The test, it worked. Now let's automate this with something more real world. Okay. Recap. And I'm going to leave timestamps so you all are tracking what's going on. Recap. What the heck did we just do? First, we downloaded some logs, some Apache logs. We analyzed those logs to get familiar with how to parse through logs much more quick than trying to read line by line. By if you wanted to find the top IP addresses, if you wanted to find the most accessed pages, we can use commands like WC, right? The WC command to help us do that. We can use commands like the alt command to help us grep things, to help us extract things from those files. Then you said, you know what, let's go ahead and set up an email service. Let's set up SMTP using Postfix so that we can send email alerts when there's a certain string in our logs, like the curl command in our logs. We want to know when someone is using curl to access our webpage, because maybe they're doing some type of recon. Maybe it's a threat actor that's doing reconnaissance. Maybe it's a pen tester doing reconnaissance. We would like to know. Why the curl command? Because it's not normal for most people to use that when they're accessing your webpage. All right, so now we tested out Postfix. Postfix is working. We were able to send an email to our recipient successfully. We ran into a little issue, which is normal. You're going to run into issues. We found it. We resolved it. Now let's go ahead and start up our HTTP server. All right, so we already downloaded HTTPD. So we're going to start it up. Sudo systemctl start HTTPD. That is started. Just go ahead and make sure everything's good. That's good. You see these things right here. If I got to hit the right key, I don't like that, right? That's why I had the no pager thing before. But anyway, that service is running good. Let me show you. That service is running good right now. All right, let me grab my public IP address really quick. Boom. Boom. What's that? Boom. So let me make sure I have my VPN turned on. Yep. Cool. Sweet. All right. My VPN is on. So if I curl, well, first of all, let me do sudo ls var log. This is where the log will start on Linux, right? This HTTPD file right here is where our logs will be stored. You see there's going to be an access log. There's going to be an error log. Right now, there shouldn't be anything in the access log. If I cat it open, it's empty, right? If I curl that IP address, right? This is the website. It works, okay? It works. If I curl that, you see what we get. Cool. Now, let me do something. 1 second. Looks like I lost connection to the EC2 instance. That's all good. Let me get that back. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. All right, now I'm going to go to the same website, but I'm going to show it to you from here. All right, this is the same web page, right? It works, it works, it works, it works, it works, it works, it works. Okay, cool. Now let's go back. Let me come back over here. All right, cool. Let's do this. All right, back in action. That is just me using my VPN, so you don't see my public IP address, you see someone else's when we go into these logs. All right. All right, now let's go sudo var sudo cat var log httpd access logs. All right, look here. The first time when we accessed it, we used the curl command. You see right here, we use the curl command. And you can see that curl pops up in the logs when you try to do that. All right. The next time we accessed it was from the web, from Safari. We use the web browser to access it. And you can see it tells you you're using Safari. Right, you're using Safari, and we did it again the second time. We used Safari. Now, the reason I had stopped is because and this is a good note for everybody. I did not want my public IP address to be shown. So what I did was made sure my VPN was turned on, which is why we got disconnected from the EC2 server. Right, so what you're seeing is not my public IP address. This is the VPN public IP address based out of Australia or somewhere. I don't know. All right, so cool. What we're going to do is tell Postfix to send an alert via email anytime this is detected. Anytime curl is detected in these logs, we want you to send an email alert. That's what we're going to set up, right? Why do we want to know that? Because we want our SOC analysts, we want our system administrators to be vigilant. We want them to be proactive. We want them to know. This is what Splunk could be used for, some type of SIM tool can be used to do this. So in order to do this effectively with another cool tool, what we're going to do is download Logwatch. So git clone Logwatch. Logwatch is a cool monitoring tool that can be used to monitor your logs to do exactly what we want to get done right now. So I'm going to CD into this, CD Logwatch. Logwatch is pretty easy to use, you all. So ls bin, we're going to use this right here. So we're just going to do sudo bin logwatch, do that. Actually, look, let me do this. I'm going to type it out into my editor and then copy and paste it. All right, boom. So I'm doing sudo bin logwatch because I want to run this. And then I'm telling Logwatch, these are the parameters that Logwatch needs, at least for this Logwatch. You can go to that Git repo link and read the README page. It needs the file that you want to access, that you want to monitor, which is varlog httpd /access-log. It needs the regex, which is that you want to alert on. We want to alert on curl. It needs the email address you want to use as the sender. This is our email address. It needs the email address you want to send to. This could be your SOC analyst or some type of distro. And then it needs the subject for the email address. Now, I'm not going to run this yet. I'm going to start up tmux. Tmux is going to allow me to use multiple screens. All right, I have tmux started up. I'm going to rename this screen. I'm going to hit Control B and then comma to rename this screen to Logwatch. You don't have to do this. You can just open up 2 terminals if you want. And then here, I'm going to hit Control B again, Control B, and I'm going to hit the letter C to create a new window. Whoops, created 2. All right, I'm going to hit Control B again and hit the letter P to go back to the Logwatch window. And I'm going to start up this command right here. So this is running. This is monitoring the varlog httpd access_log file. It is monitoring this file right now. It's looking for the curl command. All right. I'm going to hit Control B to go to the next window. All right. You can see which window I'm on based off of this asterisk. If I hit Control B and go to the previous window, you see I'm on the Logwatch window. If I hit Control B and hit the N key, it goes to the next window. All right. From here, I'm going to curl. Let me grab that IP address again. From here, I'm going to curl that public IP address. I'm going to hit Control B and go back to Logwatch. And you can see Logwatch says sending email because it detected this curl. It detected it. So it's sending an email. Let's go to our email address. Let's see what that said. If I can find it. Where is that window at? Here it is. All right, so we have 2 emails. Oh, this was the test email from before. So here it is from Logwatch. Logwatch alert curl found in access log. Logwatch is you have just successfully configured a monitoring tool to alert, to identify you when there's something malicious. According to you, we determined that, hey, the curl command, it may not be super malicious, but it is something we want to be alerted on when it is detected. Cool. Lastly, the last thing we are going to do is, take it one step further to enhance your skill sets. We're going to take it just one step further. And what I mean by that is we're going to create a script that will run every day. For our purposes, we're going to run it right now, but for production purposes, the script will run every day, right? This script is going to run every day to go through your logs. I'm going to cancel this. To go through your logs, and I'm going to exit this tmux. I'm going to hit Control B and then the letter D. This script is going to go through your logs to detect if there is any curl entries in there. Okay, if there are any curl entries in there. So I'm going to just do V curl alert.sh. Hit the letter I. Let's start typing the script out. Bin bash. Here are going to be the variables. Log file be a variable. We're going to set var log. And I'm going to go through this pretty fast. So please feel free to pause the video. Curl. We want that to be the pattern. The from email will be IU9741112. It should be 4 ones, no 3 ones. Yep. gmail.com. And then the 2 email address will be Cali Linux 08575592 at yahoo.com. Then the subject will be log launch alert curl found in access log. All right, so we're going to do, let's do if this file is not found, then so I'm just going to hit 4 spaces right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I want you to echo, hey, that file doesn't exist. Log file does not exist. Right? And I don't have to type out the whole log file. Why? Because I have a variable. This is the variable log file. So I can just name the variable, but I have to prefix it with the $sign. These variables are here as shortcuts for me. And then exit. And then I'm going to close the if statement with the fi. Now another if statement. If grep q, grep, if you don't know what grep is what we use to, it's like a control find, a control F. We're trying to search for something inside of a file. The Q just silences it, all right? It's gonna make it quiet so it's not spitting anything else to the screen. So if this pattern, which is right here, if this pattern is detected inside of this log file, which is just another variable, then, I don't like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Then I want you to use this email body. The following entries indicate curl usage in log file. New line, boom. The -n gives you, or the /n creates a new line. And we're going to append to that body with a plus equals. We're going to append to that body the grep pattern that we found. All right, we're not done. Two, three, four, 1, 2. We need to be inside of that. Okay, so echo subject. Gonna be the subject. We set the subject up top. We're setting up the email now, you all. We are setting up the email now. Echo from will be the from email that we set up. Echo to will be the to email that we set up. Echo an empty space. Echo -e. The email body, we need that -e because in the body we have this /n. And then close this. Sendmail -f. Let's see, sorry, I heard the kids in the background. All right, make sure send email -f from email to email. So is this pretty much the same thing we did with Postfix before, right? When we sent that test email. All right, cool. So after that, I'm gonna echo just to let us know, hey, the email was sent to else before no curl usage found in log file. All right, and then we're going to close that if statement out. All right, so let's go through this real quick. All right, so yeah, we're learning a lot in this video. We learned how to analyze log files really quickly with awk wc command, right? We learned how to extract certain things out of that, just such as the top IPs, top access pages. We learned how to set up an SMTP service with Postfix. Okay, we tested that out. We also went into AWS to set up the SMTP service there so we can send out emails externally. Okay, then we tested that out. It was successfully working. We used Logwatch to start monitoring our logs, our web server logs, which is pretty cool. It monitored the curl command. Now what we're doing is taking this a step further, saying, hey, you know what? We want this script right here to run every day to let someone know the curl commands that were found, right? We already have Logwatch that's actively alerting right now in real time, like, hey, this is a curl command found. This is a curl command found in the access log. What this is going to do is just send like a nice little summarized report at the end of each day or at the beginning of each day for someone to start doing some threat hunting into. So we have our variables set up here, and I'm going through this for my sake too to make sure I don't have anything out of place. I have my variables set up here. They're all enclosed within quotes. That's good. Then we have the first if statement. This if statement is checking to see if that log file exists. If it doesn't exist, then it's going to exit and the script won't run. Then we have the next if statement. This is going to grep for a certain pattern within the log file, right? We're using those variables up top. Okay, something's not right here. We have email. Okay, I see what I did. See, this is why we go back through it. This isn't email body. It should be email body. So we have email underscore body equals the following entries indicate curl usage. Then we close that out, and then we have email underscore body plus equals. We have our grep. Boom. But something's throwing me off right here. Why this isn't? See something. Yeah, but we need this though, so that's okay. Email underscore body that. Then we're gonna send the email using sendmail, just like we did the test. We need the subject. We need the from email. That's in closing quotes, that's in closing quotes, the to email, that's in closing quotes, echo an empty line, then the email body, that's in closing quotes. And then we're gonna pipe that into the send email -f from email to email, cool. And then we're going to echo email sent to email regarding curl usage. Cool. Else, you know what? There was nothing found. All right, cool. I'm going to save that, right? You save it. How do I save it? With them, you just hit shift colon and then WQ. All right, cool. ls-ll, you see that alert is right there. Let's go ahead and chmod it, chmod plus X, so it can be executable. ls-ll one more time, it is executable. Let's test this out really quick to make sure it's working. I'm gonna execute it. All right, binary, conditional binary operator expected. Let's see what happened here. What line was it complaining about? Line 9. Conditional binary expected. Let me see. So let me go through this pretty slow. Okay, so I got this is straight. And boom, boom. Oh, dash F. Okay, maybe that was it. Maybe it was just the dash F. All right, maybe that was the dash F. Let's test it out again. Okay, log file. Oh, okay, we got to run this with sudo. It's gonna say the log file doesn't exist if we don't use sudo. Why? Because look, sudo ls-ll var log httpd. But this is owned by root. All of this is owned by root. So if we don't run this script with sudo, it won't work. Let's do that. It says no such file or directory, email sent to boom. So there's something wrong with this log file. What's wrong with it? Var log. Let's see. There's nothing wrong with that. Grep. Oh, what's in the grep? If grep q log file. Oh, that's right there. Needs that. So let's run that script one more time. So what? Just found another issue. That's why we got to go through it. This needs to be prefixed with the $sign since it's a variable. The alert said, hey, there was no such file or directory log file, which there isn't. So I'm going to run it one more time. Okay, cool. Email sent to Kali Linux. Boom, 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 boom. Email. So let me go check that email address, see what we got. Yep, and I see the email. Here, I'll share the screen. See the email right here. Following entries indicate uses curl and var log, but we're not seeing those entries. So let me go back and see something. Let's see. So let's see. So email body equals that plus equals grep underscore pattern. Let's see what's going on here. It's not liking this email underscore body plus equals. It's grepping it though, but there's something up with that. Plus equals $sign. That's correct syntax. So let me do this. Let me let's see. Yeah, it's not liking it yet, but let's see. Shabbat plus X curl pseudo email sent this time. Let's see what the email looks like. Okay, this time it sent it, but what is different? So let me show you. It sent it this time. Window, boom, boom, boom. So we can see that we see the results now all in one, but there was something up. If you all spot what it was, there was something up with the script the first time. Let me go back, share screen, boom, boom, boom. All right. There was something up with this script. I'm gonna spend some time to try to figure that out, but I'm not seeing, maybe it was an indent thing. I don't know. All right, so we got the script working. Now let's go ahead and set up a cron job with this script. All right, we're gonna set up a cron job so this can run every day. Okay. We're gonna do cron tab -e. But before we do that, let's do sudo system ctl start cron d. Then we'll do cron tab -e. And we will say, we want this to run every minute right now, just so we can see the new email. And what we'll do is sudo home ec2-user logwatch. What's the name of our script? Hold on, let me go back. The name of our script is curl_alert.sh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sudo home ec2-user logwatch curl_alert.sh. And what we're going to do, just because for troubleshooting purposes, we're going to output those results into a file. So if it doesn't work, we'll see why. All right, so we got sudo this. Now make sure this is the correct directory, and then we're going to echo the output or the errors into this log file. All right, this is going to run every minute at the top of the minute. If you want this to run every day, just change the first 2 asterisks to the first one will be, this will be 0, and then you can put whatever number here, like a 6. Right, that'll run this script every day at 0600, 6 a.m., 0, and then 6. But for now, we're going to run this every minute. All right, let me just make sure that path we put was right. Okay, cool, that's right. Now we just wait. All right, we wait. But while we're waiting for this to pop up, y'all, we have learned a lot. There's a lot here to learn. First and foremost, we implemented some log monitoring tools such as Logwatch. We configured Postfix. We configured AWS SES. That was to send out emails so we could alert people when there were certain things being detected, such as a curl command. You can detect for anything. We learned how to use grep. We use the grep within the bash script. We learned how to use awk and wc to improve the efficiency of parsing, to improve how we're extracting actionable data. Right? We routed the log monitoring task or the log monitoring stuff with the bash script and cronjobs right now, right? We're ensuring that the logs are consistently being reported in a timely manner so that other team members, the sysadmins, IT support, information security analysts, vulnerability analysts, SOC analysts, they can go ahead and do their task as well. We enhance the troubleshooting tools by using these Linux command, the shell tools. We enhance troubleshooting processes by using the Linux command line tools. With the bash scripts, I think one of the most important things is we optimize log processing. We optimize it with simple Linux commands, right? In most working organizations, they're going to be using some type of SIM tool like Splunk, maybe Elastic, right? Well, if the company is trying to save money and it's not a big company, they don't have to spend a lot of money on Elastic or Splunk. They can use the same tool that we learned today. Even if they did have Splunk, even if they did have Elastic, you can use these same tools to corroborate what you're finding in your SIM tools, to corroborate your findings and update your tickets with corroborated evidence. So this is pretty cool. What we're going to do at the end of this video is post maybe a link, maybe a Git repo, a link, but it's going to have, and there's that log file. It's going to have some resume bullets that you can add to effectively market these skills. All right, cool. So it's working. I'm going to go stop that cron job. I'm just going to comment it out with the hashtag. So it's sent out 3 emails, it looks like, because it's running every minute on the minute. Let's go take a look. All right. Yep. All right. So the cron job worked. Everything worked. Everything is working successfully. What I'm also going to do, I'm making notes right now. I'm going to add the script. Add script. So that you all can just simply copy and paste it. Yo, this is a pretty cool video. It was a pretty cool project. What makes it even more cool is that you can add this to your resume. But don't one and done this. Keep practicing this over and over and over. Get creative, use different log files, try to implement different command line tools. Get creative, have fun, ask questions. Let us know what you think about this in the comment section. Please don't forget to smash that like button. It's helping us get this content to as many people around the world. We want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to learn these hands-on skills. We want this type of information to be free and readily accessible and available to everyone. Other than that, thank you all. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.